Guess what I'm making this morning? That's right, scrambled eggs, because that's the only thing I seem to be making so far here. So, purpose of today's video, I'm essentially going to show you everything that I eat in a day, in a typical day. So it's like a Tuesday, there's not much going on, although I am heading out for dinner later, so and undecided where, so that'll be interesting and I want to show you. This video will essentially give you a little insight into how I'm structuring my eating, how I'm structuring my meals in order to tidy up my nutrition slightly without even counting calories and not even doing much cooking. So you're gonna see how I'm still able to eat out, order meals in perhaps, or yeah, cook like I am making breakfast today without necessarily stressing about the calorie content. And this is what I was talking about in my previous videos, that I am going tidying my nutrition by making just smarter choices and altering some of the habits that I've been doing in order to help me to drop body fat. Now, I do want to say that although I am not tracking, I have tracked for years. I've been through fat loss phases, I've been through gaining phases, I've been through maintenance phases, so I have a rough idea of not necessarily accurately eyeballing the calories, but I have a good idea of calorie content within food and more so protein. And I do want to make sure that my protein is kept high, so having that understanding of what foods are high in protein and the rough protein content of food really helps me to make sure that I'm reaching enough, because protein is gonna keep me stay fuller for longer. So I don't necessarily need to know the exact amounts to know that it's gonna keep me fuller for longer, but I want to be preserving as much muscle as I can and also adding on muscle as I'm training harder. So it's going to help my recovery, muscle growth, satiety and fullness levels. So I am conscious of that. Because I've done it for so long, I'm not even going near tracking, don't want to do it, just really want to focus on making smarter choices with my nutrition. I'm making scrambled eggs using 2 full eggs and then 2 egg whites. So the protein is highest in the egg white, and then I'm getting some fats out of the egg yolk, but I don't want too much. So this is where my smarter choices come in, making sure that I am including as much protein as I can from the egg and then using egg whites. Really good hack if you are trying to like bulk up your meals, add more volume to it without necessarily adding calories. So for example, like a large medium egg has between like 60 to 70 calories. The egg white from a medium egg has 17 calories and it has most of the protein. So it's a good little tip to use. I want to show you a new addition to my household. Look at this. We have a walk-in pad. And yes, it's, oh my god, this is so slow. Okay. I don't actually know how fast it can go. I'm kind of scared, but 4.0 is perfect. A little stroll, and yes, it's right beside my bed, which I really don't have any excuse to get my steps in. Shout out to my dearest friend Laura for leaving it with me. So sadly she is going to Dubai. She's moving to Dubai and she had nothing to do with her walk-in pad. Laura tried to convince me to take the walk-in pad, trying to sell me all the features that it can do, that it can slide under my couch, that I can put it under my desk and make it into a walking desk, that I will be able to hit my steps so much easier. And I'm like, babe, you don't really need to sell it to me. I'll take it. It's gonna be a lifesaver. So getting steps in Bali is not the easiest thing to do. There is no footpaths, everyone just moves around on their scooters. So if you do decide to go for walks, like you'd either go down to the beach or you'd go to like rice fields where there is small paths that you can actually go properly walking on. But otherwise, if you're just like walking from a place to place at the side of the road where there's no footpaths, or if there is footpaths, the scooters just overtake them, it's quite dangerous. Second of all, it's quite hot. So unless you want to go to a place and then be sitting there covered in your own sweat, it's not ideal. So yeah, essentially, you just move around on scooters, which for me was just such a hard adjustment because back at home, living in a city, I didn't even have to put too much thought into getting enough steps because I'd be just moving around a lot. I'd be a person that would tend to walk everywhere, and I had an apartment in the city, so like going to the shops, going to the cafes, going to work, going to the gym, I used to just walk. Whereas here, in order to get my 10,000 steps, and 10,000 isn't a magic number, but it works quite well for me, it's a nice target to hit, I have to put in intentional effort, and I go on multiple walks a day, which is great. I love getting out in nature, but sometimes it becomes inconvenient, and if I don't do that, it also gets quite dark quite quick, so I tend to finish all my workouts walking on the treadmill. So now this is gonna make my life a lot easier, and I do a lot of work on my phone, which means I can multitask, and that's what I used to do going in the gym. I'd finish my workout and then hop on the treadmill, and if there's any emails, messages, or anything like this that I need to answer, that's exactly what I would do. I would multitask it. I will pair two things that I need to tick off for the day together, such as replying to DMs, replying to clients, emails, like editing content, while getting my steps up. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye. We've got the goods. So we've got a poke bowl full of the good stuff. This is tempeh, and I wouldn't normally be like a tempeh gal, but the one from Poke Theory is amazing, and on Tuesday they do a deal for like 50% off. But I have also ordered some extra chicken, just because it doesn't have that much protein. It does have edamame beans, which are quite high in protein, but yeah, we got some extra chicken, and this is literally my lunch like 5 or 6 days out of the week. It's just super convenient. I get it ordered in, it comes within like half an hour, and it's literally, I get quinoa, but you can get like sushi rice. I know sushi rice is nicer in poke bowls, but quinoa is higher in protein, and I am trying to optimize my protein as much as I can. So quinoa, and then we have cherry tomatoes, we have sweet corn, we have beetroot, with carrots there. So my tempeh, what else is there actually? There's some sweet potato. So yeah, really like eating the rainbow essentially. And I am aiming for 5 to 6 servings of fruit and veg across the day to support my immunity, to support my health. Veggies also keep us fuller for longer, which is amazing. Oh, Ponyo! Hello, baby girl. Do you want to say hello? Do you want to say hello to the YouTube fam? Yes? Say hello in here. I do want to talk about some strategies that you can use in order to improve your overall nutrition without necessarily going down the route of downloading MyFitnessPal. And nowadays, a lot of coaches, a lot of fitness trainers and PTs betray calorie and macro tracking to be the be all end all to getting results. And to be honest, as much as I agree and support calorie tracking, and I think it can be a useful tool, and it has helped me massively to get better understanding of nutrition, the calorie and macro content of each food, made me more self-aware. I do think the number one thing in order to actually make sustainable changes that you can maintain for the rest of your life is getting the foundations right, and actually getting a little bit more in tune with your body, and having some sort of a structure that you can apply and that you can see yourself eating like this for the rest of your life. Because yes, there are short-term methods, and calorie counting is one of them, to make you more self-aware, maybe to keep you more accountable, especially if you're in like a fat loss phase. But before I would even go down that route, I would look at other things to optimize what you're already doing and get into a better routine with your eating habits before even like looking into that calorie tracking side of things. So essentially, my number one thing is to create some sort of structure with your eating so that you're having something to eat every 3 to 4 hours. This will allow you to keep your hunger at bay, making sure that you're like not overeating at your meals because you have something coming up in the next couple of hours, and then also not leaving too long of gaps in between meals to the point that you get so hungry that you can't stop eating and then you end up like just overeating. So what has worked really well for me, and I've been practicing this for like a number of years now, regardless of like whether I have a body composition goal or not, it just works really good to control like fullness and hunger levels, is 3+2 nutrition method. So I aim for 3 core meals, which are like my breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then incorporate 1 to 2 snacks. Sometimes I'm more hungry, I might need 2, other times I might just need 1. But that allows me to eat every like 3-4 hours, and I usually tend to have my meals roughly at the same times. I'm not that rigid. It's not like, oh my god, if I don't eat breakfast by like 9 a.m., I'm missing out on breakfast. But I try to have like a window of like roughly when I have those meals. So this is my number one thing. Then is actually how I create and structure my meals. And this applies to any of the core meals that I'm having, and I'm gonna prioritize protein first. So when I'm building out my breakfast, I'm like, okay, what protein source am I gonna have today? So as you see in my breakfast, eggs were my main source of protein. Then I'm gonna look at like fruit, carbs, and fats that I can make that meal balanced. So with my breakfast, how was it balanced? I had protein from the eggs, I had fats from the egg yolks, and then I had my carbs / fruit from my banana. It was a bit lower in carbs because I wasn't necessarily training. I was just like sitting at my desk for a period of time. So I find this is just like a personal preference. It has nothing to do with like how anyone should eat or how to get better results. But I find that if I have too much carbs in a meal and then try to focus and work, it spikes up my blood sugar levels quite high, and it's just maybe the way my body responds, but then I can't really concentrate and be as productive. So I find having a meal that isn't too heavy in carbs while I'm in like work mode just works better for me. I prefer to utilize those carbs when I'm most active and around my workouts, but I'm still getting some of it in. I'm still making my meal balance. And now, for example, this, although I haven't made that, I ordered it. I have protein, which is from my tempeh, from my chicken, from my edamame beans. Then I have my carb source from quinoa. It also is quite high in protein. And then I have plenty of veggies to fill that up. This is going to make me fuller for longer. It's going to make me more satiated because there's fiber in those veggies, and it's going to support my health and immunity. So that's my second strategy. My third one is, I suppose it kind of interlinked with my second one, but to have protein at every single meal. Protein gonna help build muscle, maintain muscle, gonna keep you fuller and more satiated. So it has so many benefits, regardless of whether you're even like attending the gym, whether you're continuously like training, lifting weights or not. Protein is important for so many other things, such as like hair, nails, healthy skin. So even if you aren't somebody that like regularly lifts weights or is a runner, you still need protein in your diet. So making sure that you have a protein source at especially the 3 core meals is gonna be like a massive game changer. So what I would suggest is write out a list of protein sources that you can have in each of core meals. So if you have 3 columns of breakfast, lunch, dinner, and breakfast, you could have protein sources: eggs, Greek yogurt. Why can't I think of any more protein sources? But like chicken sausages, turkey rashers, bacon medallions, a list of like breakfast foods that you can have, protein sources, and then you can like combine them in different ways to make meals. Same for lunch, you could have like, you could have, my brain is so frazzled, but like chicken breast, turkey mince, beef mince, and it's probably the same for dinner, and then you can pair it together. You can make stir fries, you can make like homemade burgers, you can make just like grilled chicken and sweet potato. So having that list of options that you can choose from, that you ensure that your meal contains at least one of those sources you listed, is going to really help with satiety. It's going to stop you like overeating or snacking then at night. So these are some strategies that I use. And I would say lastly is to actually include something that you really enjoy in moderation every day or most days. Because if you go into your diet with a scarcity mindset and with the fact that you're gonna like, okay, I'm on a diet now, I'm getting into a fat loss, I need to cut out all the bread and all the chocolate and all the things that you normally have in your diet, the more you're gonna crave it. And believe me, you're gonna start thinking and obsessing about that food like no other day. So you might as well just enjoy it. Like what can happen is you tell yourself you can't have Oreos. You're really craving the Oreos. The willpower no longer like supports you, and you end up having like a whole packet of biscuits, and then you feel like absolute shit. Whereas if you gave yourself the ultimate permission to be like, yeah, like I can still enjoy Oreos if I want every single day. Not necessary that you will want them every single day, but if you just allow yourself to have them every single day, you'll have like 1, 2, 3, and then knowing that you can have them again tomorrow isn't gonna give you the urge to consume a whole packet to the point that you perhaps feel sick, because you know that they're available tomorrow. And that goes with any food. Not cutting anything out and allowing yourself ultimate permission to have it. You might choose not to have it, but choosing not to have something gives you control and gives you power over it, rather than telling yourself you can't have it. When you fail and end up having it anyway, you just feel guilty and you feel like absolute crap. So here are some of the tips and strategies on how like I create my diet without necessarily even looking into like calorie content of it. And then how I adjust that would be portion control. Maybe cutting out one of those snacks that I have. Maybe at the moment when I'm not paying much attention to my nutrition, I would have like 3 snacks and I'd be fine with it. But maybe cutting out one of those snacks, or reducing one of those snacks to something that's more like nutrient dense, so as opposed to having like an ice cream that's 300 calories, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have something more calorie friendly instead of that snack. Maybe something like my homemade Greek yogurt bowl with some frozen berries. And same for lunch, perhaps like just reducing the, like swapping out, for example, the rice thing in my poke bowl, swapping out my sushi rice for quinoa, a bit lower in calories, a bit higher in protein, and maybe having a regular bowl instead of a large bowl. So small little tweaks that I'd be making is just like sticking to 3 meals and 1 to 2 snacks, rather than going about my day like snacking, and reducing portion sizes as well. So okay, time to dig into that because I am so hungry. I've been literally just finishing up with some study. So I enrolled in a new course actually. I'm forever like learning, educating myself, wanting to become the best coach for my clients. So just dedicating some time during the day to enhance my own education. So I'm wrapping up with that because I'm about to go train. I'm training back and hamstrings. The full workout walkthrough is in my last video if you want to check it out. So I go into detail on the sets, the reps, how I set up exercises. And yeah, I'm recording this a week later from the last video. So I'm about to train the same workout. And actually just a note on going in and doing the same workouts week on week. This is the best way that you're gonna actually see some substantial results, especially if your goal is to get toned or build muscle or increase your strength. It's about doing the same exercises, getting good at them, and progressively overloading. What I mean by progressive overload is either increasing the amount of reps you're doing, increasing the weight that you're lifting, slowing down your tempo, so also focusing on mind to muscle connection. These are all like amazing ways that you can progressively overload, and progressive overload is essentially doing more over time. So when I'm starting a program, I would stick to it for a minimum of 8 weeks. I need to give my body time to adapt. One of the biggest mistakes that I've made when I started my fitness journey, when I started getting into the gym, was thinking that I need to just switch up exercises all the freaking time. And I would go into the gym 1 week, jump from machine to machine, wouldn't really have a plan. Next week I would do something completely different. I almost thought I needed to like shock my muscles, but then also I thought it's just gonna be better if I feel the exercises, if I'm like more sore, if I like constantly just switch things up. And this is why it has left me so like frustrated, because I was like, I'm not seeing any changes in my body. Although I thought I'm training hard, I was like showing up at the gym. So I made that mistake. I'm sharing it with you so you don't have to make that. Essentially, when I start a new training phase, which I started last week, I would stick to it for minimum 8 weeks, but sometimes it will go on for 12, 16, 20 weeks. Like if I'm still progressing, if I'm still enjoying it, if I'm still seeing like strength or muscle gain, like adaptations and results, I'm not gonna switch things up, or maybe make small little changes to like my accessory or isolation movements. So yeah, going in and repeating the same workout as last week, with the hope of just being that 1% better. So I'm having a little pre-workout snack. So I want to say a protein bar. It is a protein bar, but it's a little bit far-fetched to say that because it has like 10.5 grams of protein, which isn't a substantial amount, but I really love them. I have them every single day. Unless I run out of them, but I try to have one every single day because it only has 3 ingredients. So it's almonds, dates, oh wait, I thought it said 4 there for a second. No, it has 3. So almond, date, and soy protein isolate. It digests really well with me. It has 134 calories and just over 10 grams of protein. So while not like a huge amount of protein, the dates like give me the energy kick that I exactly need before a workout. I'm getting some protein in there as well in order to support like muscle growth, muscle repair. And it's just like an ideal snack before going training, because I don't like having a huge meal. I had my lunch, I'd allow that to digest. It has been around 2.5 hours since then, and I know I'm not going to be eating till like way later on, so just want to have something small. So I'm going to consume that, get ready, and go train.
So it's Kat's last night in Bali.
And a school night.
Tuesday night, and she drags me out to train.
You have to.
Alright, so we're out for a cheeky drink. What did you get?
I got a mango frozen daiquiri.
Give us a taste test. And I'm on the Coke Zero because we're being good on a school night. Okay, so we changed locations for our dinner, and I got the half Moroccan chicken with baby potatoes. Oh, it just looks stunning. Then Kat, what have we got?
I went to my last night. I got focaccia bread. I don't know what it is. It's like garlic olive oil. I got chips and I got steak and I got a pint.
Oh, look at you treating yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, this looks absolutely stunning.